Right before the price of this car was revealed in China, there was video shown of it driving itself from the factory to the port and onto the boat in order to be shipped to customers who are waiting. I mean, that's something I think we've only ever seen from Tesla. Xpeng have just revealed the price within the last 30 minutes of the new P7. And even Xpeng staff have emailed me saying they are shocked by the price. They didn't know what it was going to be. They just found out. Everyone's going, holy hell, this thing is going to be one of the best-selling cars potentially in all of China this year. The features this car has, the efficiency, the charging speed, the design, the range, it really stands by itself. There's really nothing else in China, I think, that competes on all of those areas. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Guys, I'll be doing a tour of China, some of the Chinese cars, going to check some of them out and see a Chinese auto show later on this year. Date's not yet certain, but if you're interested, send me an email, contact@theelectricviking.com. The P7 lineup has just been revealed. We know some of the details already. We know about the 86-inch heads-up artificial reality display, which honestly, I think would have made my life a lot easier when I've been driving around Sydney recently. The thing is incredible. We know about the side bolsters on the seats that will actually adjust as you're driving. That's pretty cool. We know that this thing looks incredible, that it has charging speeds over 500 kilowatt, but we didn't know what the price was going to be. And I think everyone expected it would cost at least $40,000 US for the base model. But the starting price of the base model is actually $30,700. $30,700. And I think people in China are absolutely shocked by this. I mean, this car has literally 3 times the computing power of Tesla's cars with full self-driving. It uses 3 Turing AI chips. Each of them has more power than anything else currently used in the world. The first generation P7 actually came out on the first generation P7 actually was launched in April of 2019 at the Shanghai Auto Show, and it was a massive success for Xpeng. I don't think people really expected that kind of car. It was a sports sedan when everyone else was making these family crossovers, which were, to be honest, a little boring. Now, this is the updated version of that car. It's entirely new from the ground up. It uses gigacasting, and that's what helps the efficiency. This is a really light car for its size. It's not small at all. It's just over 5 meters long. There's 4 versions of the P7. Starting price of the cheapest one, $30,700. The next model up is $33,600. Then the next model above that is $36,400. And the top spec, long range all-wheel drive, is $42,300. So, the most expensive version of this car with everything, big battery, I believe it's a 92 kilowatt hour NCM battery, and all-wheel drive is only $42,000 US. Now, all 4 variants are Ultra Editions. They all feature 3 of Xpeng's in-house developed Turing AI chips with a combined effective computing power of 2,250 tops. That's more computing power than any car the world has ever seen. 2 Turing chips power the smart driving system, while the other one is used to power the cabin services, basically the software. And with this computing power, the new P7 is claimed to support VLA, or Vision Language Action, plus VLM, Vision Language Models, which are large language models. And the idea here is that the car will learn, much like Tesla's cars do with full self-driving. The VLA model enables the vehicle to think proactively, handling diverse driving scenarios, such as autonomously determining optimal routes. The VLM model delivers an entirely new intelligent cockpit experience, proactively sensing and providing services. So how big is the P7? Well, first I'll give you the metric numbers. It's 5,017 millimeters long, so 5 meters long, 1,970 millimeters wide, about 2 meters, and 1,427 millimeters high. The wheelbase is 3,008 millimeters, almost exactly 3 meters. In inches, that is 197.6 inches long, 77.6 inches wide, and 56.2 inches tall. Wheelbase is 118.4 inches. Built on an 800-volt high voltage platform, it uses a battery pack, both versions of the car do, capable of 5C charging, which is approximately 500 kilowatt fast charging. It enables 525 kilometers of range to be added to the battery in 10 minutes. Apparently, if you use the slowest chargers in China, you can charge it in 22 minutes, from 10 to 80%. If you use the fastest chargers in China, you can charge from 10 to 80% in 11 minutes. It's crazy. Now there's three options in terms of range. The base model, 702 kilometers, mid-spec 750, and long range 820. Now, of course, those are CLTC numbers, so you can probably remove about 15% from those range figures to get WLTP. The longest range version, for example, with 820 kilometers, probably closer to 680 WLTP. Still, that's a fair bit of range. Now, that longest range version is a single motor rear-wheel drive, but you can get dual motor all-wheel drive. The two lowest price versions of the car feature rear-wheel drive with a single motor, and they enable the car to accelerate from 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. The other two versions are dual motor all-wheel drive. They're going to get a bit less range, of course, but they can accelerate from 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. So it's not the fastest car on the planet, but it's still plenty fast enough. It also gets air suspension in the more expensive versions. And I can tell you now, I'm currently driving the Zeekr 009 with air suspension. It's absolutely worth getting. But here's the thing. There's two different types of air suspension. There's single chamber and dual chamber. Dual chamber air suspension is definitely better than single. And this comes with the dual chamber air suspension. That means you can soften the car up if you want to, if the roads are bumpy. But if you want to drive properly in a performance way, you can lower the suspension using that air suspension, and you can put it in sport mode. And then you're going to find that what I've seen from test drives in China, this thing drives really well around corners. The top tier version is the Wing Edition. It has scissor doors, and you've got to admit, with those scissor doors, it looks pretty wild. So Xpeng this year are the fastest growing car company in the world. Their sales have grown by, I believe, 270%. 270%. However, their deliveries in the month of August, Deutsche Bank says will hit a new record of nearly 40,000, comprising roughly 36,000 deliveries in China and 3,000 deliveries overseas. Now, Xpeng wants to change that. They want 50% of their deliveries to be overseas and 50% in China. But what will need Xpeng is cars like this. Now, I was personally told by Xpeng employees the P7 is not coming. It's not coming to anyone outside of China. This is a China-only car. And I personally would like to tell you, Xpeng, I think that is a colossally bad decision. This is the coolest car you've ever made. And there is massive interest from this car in Europe, everywhere, in Australia. Everyone would be interested in potentially owning one of these cars, especially at the price you've just launched them for, which is staggering. Now, I personally have said on a number of occasions, this is, I believe, the biggest launch of any car in China this year. It's the kind of car that kind of defines a brand, really sets a standard. And in my opinion, I find this much more interesting than the Xiaomi SU7 or the Xiaomi U7. Both of them are cool, don't get me wrong, and I can understand why so many people have ordered them. But if it was my money, I'd be getting this over either of those any day of the week. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Thanks for watching.